Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today we are going to be talking about Lucid Motors, currently going with the ticker CCIV. Going to be giving a good amount of an update there, as well as then followed by that technical analysis. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So, Lucid Motors. We do have some actual recent updates regarding this one, including some of the SEC filings. And for this one here, the first thing I do want to cover right off the bat is a little bit towards the presentation they did put out an SEC filing. So, the SEC filings here shows you on the 19th a bit of different tweets, posts, etc. on multiple social medias, followed by quick details on when they expect to close this reverse SPAC agreement and their presentation. And the presentation here has quite a good amount of information that is very helpful for us. For instance here, Lucid Air is on track to be produced on the second half of 2021 and delivered as well. Now, a quick thing here is key updates since merger announcements. Manufacturing processes and building quality continues to be refined as a part of its pre-produced runs, with 74 pre-production vehicles now built in our AMP-1 manufacturing facility in Arizona. Now, our manufacturing facility is ready for the second half of 2021, start of production for customer deliveries, and production's run for final quality validation is on track to begin in June. Now, following there, key updates since the merger announcements. So, further build on out of retail service networks with additional locations in New York, Illinois, Arizona, and California to open over the next coming weeks or coming months. Now, another thing here is Lucid's ESS prototype undergoes testing now, including integration tests with solar panels installations on our headquarters. As well, on May 26, Lucid will share with the world additional information regarding its digital user experience. Now, Lucid's mission is to inspire the adoption of sustainable transportation, also while giving the most captivating luxury electrical vehicles. And I'm going to move on a little bit to some of the newer information. So we already gone through all that, including a little bit off the shade they threw at Tesla by saying it's innovative, but not luxury. Going on even further, going into the space concept. This is something new that I've seen. So they will have a kind of a space concept for either newer vehicles or future vehicles. And it's kind of an option that you do have for more interior space. This is more of if you're, let's say, getting exclusive or VIP car in that sense. For people to sit at the back, it's 2-seaters, additional to the driver and the passenger side. And taking a quick look as well, some of the things that we already covered before, a bench kind of style, extra leg rooms, etc., glass cockpit, and a drag coefficient of only 0.21. Also, Lucid Air has some of the best vehicle range in miles, around more than 517 miles, compared to, for instance, to Tesla, which is currently the Model S runs at 412. Now, another thing here as well is that they are talking about how long range and high performance has been a little bit able to coexist, while other EVs have either range or performance and not both. And you get to see that by some differentiations there. But Lucid Air in general, whether the Dream Edition or the Ground Touring, does compare really well to other competitions. And it goes on further to some details, but also we get a little bit more details regarding Project Gravity, which is an SUV. And so Project Gravity here, the vehicle is planned on production by 2023, which is only 2 years from now. And later on, you will have more planned sedans, SUVs, and other planned vehicles that will be introduced later on. Now, further on, there's some of the key metric information that I do want to go over. I did go through a lot of this. So, of course, they have a lot of research and developments that are on the way. Around 407 utility patent applications in the United States and worldwide. And further on, going towards the go-to-market strategy, they have more than $800 million in anticipated sales. They also do have a good amount of reservations. It's mentioned a little bit earlier in the presentation. I might have skipped that. And they're talking about as well entry to European and Middle Eastern markets expected to begin in the first half of 2022, with first 6 retail locations that are open in North America throughout 2021 as well. And they show you here some of the currently open ones and some of the ones that are under constructions or in developments. And further on, you do see a little bit of their charging network strategy. They have more of a partnership with Electrify America over, for instance, Tesla supercharging network. So that will cut some of the cost. And they do go ahead as well with some of the manufacturing, such that they're beginning production at their facility in Arizona on the second half of 2021. And they do, of course, I did talk about this, where they're having expansions, etc. And Arizona's site was basically selected with smartness there because of how they are positioned from Tucson, Casa Grande Manufacturing, and Phoenix, etc., and how they all line on the map as well. So another thing here is some of the market opportunities. They're looking at a 5% CAGR from 2018 all the way to 2026. And another thing that I do want to show you here is their market share. They expect that Lucid Air, after it's been launched, only to have 0.6% market share in the first year and 0.7% in the second year. Now, this of course compares to 23.9 and 18.3 in the first 2 years of launch for Tesla, but at that time, the EV industry wasn't as competitive as it is now. Now, other things, for instance, regarding towards their financials, you get to see that they are aiming to have a positive EBITDA by 2014 and a a positive cash flow by 2025. And to give you a bit more details relating breakdowns, etc. But some of the more interesting informations that I do see here on is the chart relating towards 2023 revenue. And this is basically giving you a bit of a sense of how it's going to look for a 3-year forward revenue since 2012. This is for something relating towards Tesla's valuation in general. And currently, it's sitting at 8.3 times. Meanwhile, if you were to compare to Lucid, for instance, regarding 2023 estimated revenue, it's only sitting currently at 2.1 times. That means, and technically, if you were to give it the same kind of valuation as Tesla per their 2023 revenue, it will be multiplied by 4 times. So that's 400%, which means around $80 a share to $100 a share, which is something you'd be expecting if you were to kind of give it the same valuation as 2023 revenue. By 2022 revenue, it's basically Tesla is kind of double Lucid. You're talking about 10.2 versus 5.3, which puts it at a price point of around $40 per share. Now, another thing I do want to talk about is that the closing date is assumed to be on July 15th, 2021, and that will give $400 million in cash to Lucid. Now, so keep that in mind. July 15, 2021 seems to be a key date for them, and that is the assumed date based on the SEC filing that they do have on their general SEC filings collections as the closing set date. And before moving on towards technical analysis and a bit others, make sure to drop a like to this video if you'd like the video, and also click that subscribe button on the bottom right corner, turn notifications on. If you'd like to join the discussion about this one in our server, it's totally free in the description below. Now, you get to see some companies are actually adding, some are throwing out some shares, but in generally, May have been very bullish for this one. Now, Citadel advisors decreased their position by 50%. Or almost that, 49.42, and added some calls instead. Now, you get to see others are adding, and some are removing or depositing some shares, and it's almost some of the most recent ones are happening around the 17th and etc. And it looks very interesting because that's kind of the first signs of hesitancies that we get to see from these companies. And some of them haven't really just thrown out shares in general, but changed their strategy a little. And it makes you wonder, why are they doing that? Well, big part of it could be something where they want to diversify their investments, or they want to lower their exposures until it kind of goes through that reverse merger and then give it a few months before they go back in. Different companies have different strategies, so we can move on now towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis standpoint of view, you get to see that the 10 SMA here is above the 30 EMA, which is definitely a bullish indicator. Currently, it's within this trading action zone between the 2033 and the 1865 price point, and that's where most positive reversals occur. Now, on the ADX bar, it doesn't tell you much. Usually it tells you if it has a strong movement or not. William percent R is theoretically overbought, which means an kind of a correction could be seen sometime soon. Now, this could be more off just a fluctuation in price, nothing major, but the MACD shows a strength in this bullish reversals from the 1725 price point going in north. Now, current momentum is actually bullish, and it definitely looks really good. Now, on stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are looking like they have another leg up. Taking a quick look into the moving average bands, you expect this one to trade on the top 2177, in the middle 1979, and in the bottom 1781. And if we were to look at some of the patterns that this one really shows, this channel that I drew from last time was going a bit downwards, and for it to kind of break this channel through, there is a main two parts of this channel that are currently there. So currently, the resistance on that channel and the mid resistance is 2067, and the top one to fully break this channel kind of behavior is at 2584. The question is when it will break it, not if it will break it. And then we take a look into Fibonacci retracements for key support levels of resistance and support. So 2486 is sitting at the top, and then all the way bottom at 966. And then what we get to see over here is that there is a significant resistance point somewhere around and about of 2272, above there 3079, above there 3730, 4382, 5310, and 6490 or 6486. Now, on a general price line action point of view, there's a very strong support that currently lies at 1949, 1832, down below 1742, 1518, and then 1338. Significant resistances. You're looking into this one: 2048, 2201, 2417, 2777, 2993, and going up to 3497. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Well, if you're investing into this one and you're looking into 2 to 3 year scope, given that the EV bubble doesn't crash, and at the current Tesla valuation, you're looking anywhere between 40 to 80 bucks price point within the next 3 years. Now, if you were to look at something, let's say, as trading, this one will probably start drifting a little bit and accumulating, but at some point, it's going to snap or pop. And it's going to see a good amount of momentum, a really massive bullish candle, very similar to what you've seen here, and then following that is a price correction. Now again, this is assuming that the EV bubble doesn't crash, and there is a good likelihood that this one, you're able to trade it and get a quick buck out of it in the next few months. Now keep in mind, the July date I did tell you about, 15th of July 2021, as an important date. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you made it this far into the video, I do recommend that you go ahead and join our Discord server. There's a lot of amazing folks in here. We do a lot of discussions here into the trading floor throughout the day. A lot of people are in there, and we do ask questions. You can ask me any question you would like on there. We do post research and DDs, and we hold weekly chat sessions. And we also do have a lounge in there. So make sure to actually join that and join the fun there. Have a wonderful day and a good one.